Hello, I am coming in for a third podcast. Something just came to me and it was like, record this as soon as you can. So I'm getting ready for work, and so this one will be a lot shorter. But I wanted to speak to you about food choices and what we can do right now for ourselves. And I want to disclaimer this I have taken a long time to be the seer that I am. Many years and hours of meditation and quiet and removing from myself those distractions and being able to open up all senses, higher spiritual senses and whatnot, that I may be able to see, feel, hear, taste, smell, especially the feeling part, the inner knowledge, everything around me. If I go to the store and I look at chicken, many times I won't buy it because the energy looks gray. The energy looks, when I say gray, it's not actually the color gray. It just looks sad. The feeling is sad. It's not right. Many of the vegetables at the grocery stores now look sad. Now, I'm in a little rural town, so we don't have these amazing Whole Food stores or this and that. So I cannot attest to what may be at a Whole Food store or maybe like a Pete's Market or something. A lot of times the smaller markets that are like for Hispanic or African markets, things like these smaller markets, they actually have better produce. They have more life to them. They feel, look, see, happy. Okay, reeling all that back in, my message was I eat in a different way now. So I eat whatever my body is telling me I need. And so recently, after being unwell, I was hearing eggs, protein, onion, garlic, peppers, tomato, those healing herbs, basil, put basil in it. So I was making myself these omelets, okay? Very large omelet, like 6 eggs omelet, because I was using eggs from the grocery store because my local friend, her chickens had gone, she calls it broody. They get broody when they don't want to lay as many eggs. So I didn't have eggs from her. I just had them from the grocery store. And now, mind you, the first time I made the big omelet, I only think I used like 3 eggs, and I was like, oh, I ate it all and I still felt unsatisfied. So the next time I made it, I said, oh, let's just double it up. And now I'm not eating this in one sitting. This was when I was unwell and recovering and coming off of my externship. So I'm not working right now. So I would make this at about 7 in the morning, 8 in the morning, and then I'd let it sit, and get nice and solid. Or, you sometimes let the thing sit for a minute. So maybe about 8 o'clock, I'd start nibbling on it, and put it away for a while and nibble on it until, later in the evening, in the afternoon. So this is not like a big 6-egg omelet for one feeding. Okay, I got eggs from her. Her chickens were not broody anymore. And I hadn't had eggs for a minute or I hadn't had this omelet thing for, a few days now. And I thought, okay, I'm going to make one real quick before I go to work. I'll eat this over my hour and a half or so, and that'll be enough to sustain me because I won't be able to nibble like I do at home. I'm going to have to be sitting behind a desk and stuff, and I won't be able to eat. I got only a quarter of third of the way through it. I would say about a third. I got a third of the way through my eggs, and I felt satisfied. And I thought, wait a minute, what's going on here? And I was like ready to push myself to eat more, and my intuition immediately, that inner voice was like, no, that's it, put it away for later. Okay, no problem. So then I went into remembering that when I get the farm fresh eggs, I only need 1 or 2 eggs as opposed to 6, because the energetic exchange between one farm fresh egg is 3 or more large industrial eggs. The same goes for when you get farmers market vegetables, or if you grow them for yourself in the yard. When you grow them for yourself, or when you get these farmers markets, side of the road type things, the energy, you look at it and it doesn't look sad. Now, I'm asking you to trust me because, like I said, I've worked really hard to be able to see, feel, hear these things. You know, when you go walking through the forest, when you go picking flowers, or looking at your herbs or whatnot in your gardens, these plants have a rhythm, a vibration, and they speak. They sort of speak to you, and that's what I'm tapping into when I'm looking at the foods and the meats and the eggs and the all those different things. So, what's the solution? Oh, it's a hard, difficult thing, honestly, and I'm still trying to figure it out myself. I'm trying to, next season, when I have time, I will be able to do my own garden, but this season I was not able to. So I am buying things from farmers markets. Well, that's more expensive, Roseanne. I understand that, but if I'm paying $2.99 for 3 heads of romaine lettuce from a mass-produced farm, and I have to eat nearly a whole head of romaine in order to get the same benefits as 2 or 3 leaves of romaine from my farmer's market, where am I wasting or spending money? I truly believe that in America, especially, because I can't speak too much anywhere else, although I did live in Europe and I did notice that the regulations are much different there, and there is a higher quality. It's not the best, because it seems that our whole earth right now has fingers. There are those who are money makers, and their fingers are in everything, you know. So nothing is pure and beautiful anymore unless you do it yourself, or you get it from a farmer or a local place, right? So I'm learning how to can things. So when my neighbor has this overabundance of tomatoes at the end of this month, I'm going to ask for as many as they can give me, and I'm going to can as much as I can, because those tomatoes then I can use on my wraps and my salads and whatnot later on. I'm learning how to preserve eggs in it's like a lime pickling agent thing that you put with water into jars, large jars. Why? Because in the wintertime in the Midwest over here, the chickens, they stop laying. I'm learning to can my carrots. I do carrots, I do pickles, I do onions, I do almost everything, and I'm learning how to do everything. Why? Because I can actually eat less and feel satisfied eating less. I think that's why in America we're so hungry all the time, because we're eating empty, energetic calories. You know, if you go to the dollar store to buy food because it's the dollar store and that's what you can afford, you're putting all empty energy into your body, and that's why you're so hungry. And even though you were only spending $20, you probably only got $1 of nutrition from it all because of the preservatives. So, and it's very difficult. It is a struggle to break away from the it's almost like a parasite. It's almost like an energetic parasite. The sugar, the preservatives. It's very difficult to break away from that addiction, almost, is what it feels like, you know. But once you fight and stay away from the preservatives, sugars, these types of things, keep going for the, you know, healthiest possible things you can, raw fruits and vegetables, meats that are made in a proper way, farm type eggs, things like this, you will notice two things. You'll lose weight, you'll have more energy, you'll sleep better, and you'll spend less in the long run because you'll be eating less. This is strictly my opinion from those spiritual, or if not even really spiritual, but the intuitive download information I've received in my quiet moments, receiving understanding about all these different types of things, for being able to look at a dozen of eggs from the store, see in my mind's eye, with all of my senses in my body, to hold a dozen of eggs and say, this feels sickly, this feels sad, to holding a dozen of eggs that a friend just recently did and say, wow, this feels alive, this feels like so full of bubbling, beautiful energy. Even with the milk, there's milk that comes in cartons that does not have to be, it's shelf stable. I've been finding it in a few little stores here and there. That milk itself too, the milk that we get in the cold refrigerators at the stores, I don't like to buy that at all. I won't buy it because it looks like just cloudy water in my mind's eye. I'm looking at it like, this looks like dirty water, cloudy water. That's what the senses of it for me are. Now, when I grabbed that milk off the shelf that one day, it felt like this is correct. So that was a big thing for me. So I don't know, this was what this podcast was about the thought process around your food and energy, and what we can do. I mean, what can we do? It feels very scary sometimes that we can't really do anything, but we can. We're not victims. We're solution people, right? We can find ways and means. We can do this. We just have to prioritize what is more important. And I think we've forgotten that the most important thing is our life, is the time that we are given here. And so what are we going to do to make that life better? Every minute that we use exercising, creating good food, being with each other in a higher vibrational way, not arguing or not fighting and not, cutthroat, meaning enjoying being alive, enjoying being a human being, right? That's what it's all about. Okay, I'm tapped out. That is it. Have a great, wonderful day, afternoon, evening, wherever you're at, and thank you for listening to this podcast.